Once that goes live stream, I just have to figure out which thing to close out of. I think I keep Zoom open and just close out of the other thing. Once that goes live stream, I just have to figure out which thing to close out of. I think I keep Zoom open and just close out of the other thing. Once that goes live stream, I have to figure out which thing to close out of. I think I keep Zoom open and just close out of the other thing. Once that goes live stream, I have to figure out which thing to close out of. How's that?
What is it? Something if we turn something off?
Is that good? I don't hear an echo.
No, usually you see.
You sound fine. Can you hear me? Yep.
Yes.
All right, cool.
Oh, is that thing
Oh, so this isn't on.
the owl?
How do you turn it on?
I plugged it in.
The what? Boo-boo?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it did.
Maybe
Oh,
I'll,
it was doing its thing.
let me just unplug it and plug it back in again and it'll do its. This is in, this is in. Just making sure all the attachments are good, good, good. Oh. It is very good, no? Well,
Not the video one.
would be it. Thank you.
You know.
So that's just me. I don't want to be the one on camera. The owl is not doing its thing.
Oh, is that because the video wasn't on before it was?
Oop, there it goes. There we go. Takes it a minute to warm up.
It's going.
There we go. How's Chicago doing?
Good. Good. 2 dogs, they're still alive.
Yeah, it's like 65, sunny and breezy today. It's pretty much a perfect day. I'm just getting attendance today, so we're good. We have no public attendance. The meeting is all yours, Daniel.
6:08.
You should have May 6th planning board minutes. I can't email from this computer, Robin, or I would email them to you. Wait, I have my computer. Hold on. All right, I can send those to you, Robin.
Lucky.
It will take a minute. Let me just read them out loud. Everybody was in attendance. You were here remotely last week, weren't you, Robin?
No.
Or no?
Physically. No.
Oh, you were physically here. Okay, I'm taking the word remote off. That's right. You're just getting ready to leave. We talked about the ordinance progress, that Daniel had no update, and there was no word from the select board. No planning board members are invited to discuss at the select board workshop. We handed out LD 2173 information from Erica Buffkin, which is about the I want to call them auxiliary housing. That's not it. The new housing, which we should have reviewed it last week, and we can discuss it this week. We updated work against the comp plan. We talked about possible consultant to help with these public charrettes, and there was a handout that went with that. And that was really all we did. And we were done at around 7:06.
Is there a motion to accept the meeting minutes?
So Lynn,
Second.
All in favor?
okay, Lynn moved,
Minutes. accepted.
Don seconded. Moved. I'll send you a copy, Robin, so you have a set.
Good, thanks.
And I will take off the fact that you're here. My brain is not. All right.
Wait, you're going to CEO action. Haven't heard of any.
No, but I have a question. At one point, we used to get the permit log was a public document. Well, it was on the desk in the office, right? So if we came in at any time, we could see what
Yeah.
permits were there. That's no longer there. Apparently, he says he has it on his computer, but Kathy has no access to it. And I've asked to have it printed out like once a month and put in our mailbox, and I'm not seeing it.
Is that something that Aaron should be doing?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Check.
I would like to provide a format that we'd like to see a login, because
Okay.
one of the things that I had seen was just a list of permit number
Yeah.
16, 17, 18, and it had maybe a name on it, but it didn't say what it was, right? It didn't say this was for a garage or this was in the shoreline zone. It didn't say anything. It just was no useful information. So I'd like to have us discuss tonight what information do we want to see in that permit log? And then I could type that up and send that to Aaron.
I would imagine it should have the name and the address of where the work is supposed to take place.
And what they want.
Yeah.
And it
Sounds
should be
very
by,
simple.
should really be by fiscal year, right?
It was a running log at one
Right,
point.
okay, but do you want it by fiscal year or
It does, I don't know if it matters to us.
doesn't? Okay.
I don't know. I mean,
Well, we definitely want to know what's current, at least, you know, what's going on.
yep.
The last thing I heard about was the addition to a house or garage.
Well, the only one that came to us was because I think somebody brought up a question that it was too close
Yeah.
to the border, right? And so,
And there was already a variance for the house.
right,
Yeah.
right. And so the question is, I mean, many, many, many years ago, long before my time, the planning board used to review every single building permit and issue the building permits. And at some point they said, hey, we have a code enforcement officer. That person should be
Right.
reviewing them. And the only time they should come to the planning board is if it's in the shoreline zone, because that's mandatory by law. There's a couple of our ordinances that say, like solar, right, that say the planning board has to review it. Subdivision, the planning board has to review. Anything that's a potential variance, the planning board has to review initially. I forget what else. But then we stopped hearing anything at all.
Yeah.
That's the problem. And people would say to me and other people on the board at the time, hey, did you hear about, so-and-so got this permit for such and such a thing? And you're like, what?
Yeah.
And several CEOs ago, somebody granted somebody a building permit in a floodplain. And we never saw that. The planning board never saw it, didn't know about it till it was done.
Yeah.
So those kinds of things, it's helpful to be able to see them, I think, in progress.
Yeah.
So you would, yeah, put on, I mean,
So permit number, name, the lot, the address, and maybe a short description.
yeah. All permits.
Maybe,
It'd be nice to know about all the permits,
Yeah.
even the ones that we don't have to review. you know?
right,
Yeah,
Right,
definitely, I mean, all
definitely.
permits, whether we have to review them or not.
yes. Okay,
I mean, I just. I just think cooperation between all doing the same thing for the town of Canton, how all good.
can you turn that all around? It's supposed to move with people's voices, and it's not necessarily
This
doing
way?
that. But right now, as you see, it's showing the board.
Oh, that's.
It was showing Lynn's drink cup before. I don't want to be on there. Oh, we get Lynn, there we go.
Well, that's perfect.
Yeah, let's put you on
They
there.
can't, yeah,
You
Now
can
you
slide
got
it,
the
if you
board.
slide it away to the other side of the table, it'll be a little
you
better.
better.
Yeah. There you go. All right, thank you.
Perfect.
Now,
Yeah.
There you go. Oh wait, permit log format. Did anybody have time to look at the LD 2173, which was the ancillary housing units? I think that's the word. I want to say auxiliary adjacent, but I think it was ancillary.
It's almost like an in-law type apartment or housing.
Well, yeah, and it's because of the very real housing shortage across the state. People can't hire people to come work for them because they can't find a house, for example.
Like in Rangeley, people that own businesses are building apartments to. Because there's not enough places for their workers to live,
Right,
same type of thing, right?
yeah, yep. So that's what that 2173 is. What we do need to talk about is whether that applies to any of our existing ordinances, and do we need to make any adjustments to ordinances as a result of that state legislative action? And I think we have until the end of June to decide that, but that's only 2 meetings away.
Right.
Let me see now if Erica Buffkin sent us that a few weeks ago, and she sent a link to that as well.
They should be similar to our cluster housing ordinance.
Well, cluster housing is really more for a brand new development that says our current housing and minimum lot size ordinance has people on 40,000 square feet, which is just under an acre. The cluster housing says, oh, you can put things half that on a 20,000 square foot lot and put them closer together if you have some offsetting open space. Right. Which is different than these ancillary housing units. Let me just see if I can find Erica's email. Oh, I'm not even sure I'm on the Wi-Fi. Oh, I am on the Wi-Fi. It should go.
What's your post? I'm taking the votes.
So
It allows you to build additional housing, like on your own lot,
I'm sorry.
right? This would allow you to build an additional housing on an existing lot.
Yes.
What's the name of it again?
And
LD
it doesn't necessarily have
2177.
to be connected to your house either, correct?
So like if I want to build a cabin for my mom,
Right.
you know, I could build that on my own existing lot. But what you're saying is we need to look at the regulations to see if anything needs to
Be updated.
change to
Correct.
accommodate that. So what is that like?
LD 21,
73, 2173.
and you look that up.
You could just type in Maine LD 2173. It'll take you right to the 132nd legislature. And you can get a copy of it. She sent that to us and I forwarded that to everybody.
I'm just not coming up.
I know. I hit search in my inbox. And I hit Buffkin. I don't get anything even for Erica.
That Maine 25, 26 legislation.
Yes, it's in there. Because I didn't shut down my computer, I just popped it off its docking station. It doesn't like that. So I mean, this is why I don't like the Wi-Fi here. I'm just getting spinning. And I don't know if I can get anything on this computer. Well, maybe I can get Google here.
Well, this is. It's probably under summary.
I don't want to print
Accessory dwelling unit.
accessory. That's what the A stands for. Thank you.
Yeah.
I knew it, accessory.
Don't have full compliant with all until July 1st, 2027.
Right.
Okay, that's. Right.
Has to be enacted, but it has to be engrossed, trying to get to the actual content. So that's the whole history. Work sessions, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, that, but would it be under the summary? Down. Some of main sources. Like IV 213. Would that summarize what it's,
Sure.
sure would?
Oh, that one right there. Oh, sorry. This is. Mhm. I just want to see the most recent one. Is this it here? April 16th. Yep. All right, so here's the document. It's only 9 pages, which is relatively short for a state document. So it says, acts and resolves of the legislature do not become effective until 90 days after adjournment unless enacted as emergencies. The majority of these changes will become applicable to municipalities on July 1st. Whereas this legislation modifies recently enacted, you actually can see this. Enacted provisions of law. There's a grace period for certain municipalities to delay compliance with the recently enacted provisions of the law, making a filing with the municipality's county register of deeds prior to July 1st, 2026. So I don't see anything about 2027.
Implementation timeline. Is municipalities grace period requiring all zoning and land use ordinances to fully comply with the law by July 1st, 2027.
Okay,
What line are you on?
I don't know.
There it is. Hmm?
Okay, so definitions. For this purpose of the section, common scheme of development means a plan or process of development that takes place on contiguous parcels or lots in the same immediate vicinity. And exhibits characteristics of a unified approach, method, or effect. Okay, so differential ordinance. I mean, it's now, and sometimes I've discovered that certain regulations don't apply to really small towns, and I don't know why. I was looking up a building code the other day. Oh, this has got still stuff crossed out of it. So this may not be the final. So we can't, a municipality may enact a rate of growth ordinances that set differential limits on the number of building or development permits that are permitted in designated rural areas. Municipality may not enact or enforce rate of growth ordinances that limit residential development in designated growth areas. As defined, blah, blah, blah.
4301.
So we don't currently have designated growth areas. We have nothing. So that's part of what,
Restriction permits either.
no, we don't. We have no way to restrict anything. So they're saying you can't do that. Whereas like Portland and
Right.
Kennybug may have said, hey, these areas,
Mhm.
we don't want development going on out here in the boonies, right? We want to keep it all concentrated in a city center. So that applies to them. I don't think we need a rate of growth ordinance.
It's
So some ordinance, okay,
rural and.
this ordinance, no, but we could, as part of our comp plan and creating designated growth areas, be able to say, hey, here's municipal incentives to build your housing in this area,
This might help
you know?
get more people on the town sewer and water.
By
That's a possibility.
designating growth areas in
Right,
the
right.
sewer.
Where it exists.
Either existing or adjacent to it, yeah.
So the smaller building lots that they have now could have accessory units on.
Well, right now, we don't have any areas where there's tiny lots, except for some of the older houses right on Main Street. I think
What's
that's
the minimum lot size now?
40,000 square feet.
Another interesting thing is the height and density limit mandates that municipalities allow at least 2.5 times base density for eligible affordable housing developments. And allow buildings to exceed standard height restrictions by at least 1 story up to a 55-foot cap. So in those areas where we have town water and sewer, you can build up to 2.5 times the base density of what we allow now.
Right. Okay,
So that's, I mean, that's stuff that they're asking us to do, and here's a way to do it. Because without getting more customers on the town water and sewer, it's making it really hard to actually fund it.
mhm. So I hear a lot of this does not limit, this does not limit, this does not limit. So, and this is the one that said summary, but it's still got a lot of stuff, strikeouts in it and stuff. So I don't know that this is the final one. In your email, I was gonna call you Kathy. Dawn, there's a, I forwarded something from Erica Buffkin before.
Yeah, let me look.
That should have the final one in it. Other than our cluster housing ordinance, we don't have any density requirements at this point.
Well, it's just the building lot size.
Right. KINS, I think it's an S at the end. So apparently there's some towns where municipal officers, without further action or approval by the voters of the municipality, can enact this ordinance. They don't have to take a town vote on it because it's state mandated.
Okay.
And July 27 for all other municipalities. I don't know that we have anything that says municipal officers can enact an ordinance without a town vote. So you're right, we have another year to do that. I'd have to read this again to see. I didn't see anything in there about community size. I know I have found a couple things on the state documents that say towns less than 4,000 people are exempt from certain things. I'm like, I don't know if that says that here or not. So this feels like it's a lot of you cannot require this, this, and this, right? Which may have been things that towns who didn't want all these accessory dwelling units were putting up as barriers,
Right.
right? So you couldn't, like under section 7, it says a municipal ordinance may not require minimum standards for subsurface wastewater disposal systems other than what is required by the Department of Health and Human Services. Right, so it sounds like some municipalities were saying, oh, you can't put these accessory dwelling units because now you're going to have too many sewer pipes or
Right.
wastewater pipes coming out of your house or whatever. I don't know that this necessarily affects us, but it might mean our housing and minimum lot size ordinance. We may want to put something in there about a paragraph about accessory dwelling units.
Yeah.
So let's go back to the emails that were sent.
So what it's basically saying is that where we require just under an acre, you can put multiple dwellings on like 3/4 of an acre.
So I'm looking down, I'm down to like section 17, 16 or 17. Attached to or sharing a wall with a single family dwelling unit or multi-unit residence structure.
Remember when you may have sent that?
It would have been like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Okay, what would it be called under?
I'm sure it
Justin
has
sent me the pictures with.
LD 2173, I think, was in the title. At least one accessory dwelling unit must be allowed on any lot where the principal structure is a single family dwelling unit or a 2 or 3 unit residential structure. And a municipal ordinance may not require minimum standards for subsurface wastewater treatment other than that which is required. A child care facility or a family child care provider must be a permitted use in a municipal area that is zoned for residential purposes.
We got an LD 1711. That's not it. It's 1733.
Did I forward that to you?
Yeah,
1711? Maybe, oh God, maybe I got the wrong number on my thing.
let me look again. Yeah, right here it says. Final enacted version of LD 1711. Huh?
Okay,
Is that not good?
that's probably fine.
What?
That's, 1711 is solar.
Yeah, that's the only one I have. The only
Oh.
one I have.
All right, I'll find it and make sure I've got that then out to you guys. I don't know why my email's acting so weird down here. All right, so we'll take one more look at that at the next meeting. I'll move it over and see what we can have, any specific ordinances we think might need to be impacted by that.
Okay, that's all. Yeah.
Let me jump back to the ordinance progress for a second. I don't know, Robin, if you knew that at last week's select board meeting, we asked a question about were the
I was
select
there.
people. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
that's right.
I was there.
That's right. So I have a couple questions. I'm thinking at town meeting that's coming up, we might want to look very carefully when the warrant is available to get, which once it's shortly, we should be able to see the warrant, which also has all the numbers in it. I'd like to double check how much is in there for legal fees and make sure that that's allocated for ordinances. Because if we have to update, we still have cluster housing still has to go through the process. If we have to update housing and minimum lot size to accommodate 2173, that's at least 2 more. So now we have 4 that'll be 4 plus 6 that need legal review. The comp plan has to go through legal review as well as state review, I believe. So that's a total of 7. So I just want to make sure that what they budgeted for the next fiscal year for legal review of ordinances is going to be sufficient for all the ordinances that we have coming down the pike.
Where do you see those warrants? Where do you get them?
They should be,
Would they be on the town?
no,
website?
I don't know if she puts them on the website. You can get a copy by calling the town, asking for it, and coming in and getting
So,
it.
so for the warrant,
Yeah.
and when should that be out?
It's supposed to be 2 weeks before the town meeting. And the town meeting is the 10th, 9th.
On the 11th, and our next planning board meeting is on the 4th. So maybe we can have an agenda item to review the warrant at our next planning board meeting on June 4th.
Yep. Okay. Because I don't know, Lynn, I don't remember if I've ever seen you at a town meeting. Like, have you been to a town meeting before? When they vote on the budget for the next year, like line item by line item.
No, I don't.
Okay.
No.
Because one of the things that happens at that meeting is the budget committee in the town meeting warrant, which there might be an older one over here. The budget committee has a budget recommendation for next year. The select board has a budget recommendation. Most of 99% of the time, they're the same. Sometimes they're different and they have to explain why they're different. But that's the place when people say Article 43 to approve the budgets for blah, 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 where somebody could say, we believe the line item for legal fees for this and this needs to be increased, right? But you have to do it in the right timing, because if somebody moves to vote on the article as presented, right, and somebody seconds that, then you either have to vote that down and then bring up a new article with a new budget. And then that has to get, it's complicated, right? So it's kind of behooves us, if we think it should be something different, somebody should jump on that right away and say, I motion Article 14 should read blah, 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 blah. And then if somebody else seconds it, now that's on the floor for vote and discussion. And they may vote it down and go back to the original one. You don't know, but, right, but otherwise it's harder to get yours
So
added
you should be at the
afterwards.
meeting on the 11th.
Yes. Yeah,
That's the budget meeting.
that is
All
town
meetings
meeting.
are fun. Everybody should go.
Yeah.
It's a
They
lot
are
of fun.
What'd you say?
It's great fun.
June 11th. They are fun. Oh, the ballot's up on the wall right now. I don't see the warrant. Well, they were discussing, a week ago, they were discussing the warrant, and there were still a lot of changes that had to be fixed. Kathy just got back on Monday, and so I don't know if that's fixed yet. So this is exactly what you'll see. Is a town report like this one, last year. Right, and these are, see, these are our articles. We vote on every single one of those articles individually. It goes pretty fast, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, somebody else was telling me their town meeting took 2 days because at 11 PM they called it and they had to come back the next day and pick up where they left off.
There wasn't that
Wow.
many people at it last year. I was on the budget committee last year.
There's maybe 20 people.
People, yeah, maybe.
More.
And I'm saying we need two things from the town office for our next planning board meeting. The permit list and a copy of the warrant.
Yes,
Yes. Yeah. So this is what you.
Who's following up on that?
I can go in and do it. I can go in and ask them.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Don.
Yeah, so I'll go in and ask. Kathy's in, right? I'll just go in and ask them if I can get a copy. If not, then I'll have it ready. I'm gonna tell them I need it by the planning board meeting on the 4th for the email it to me. Can they email it?
I don't know.
Okay,
I don't know what format she's got it in. I don't know what.
I will do it tomorrow.
I don't have it ready. I can go in that week of the 1st. So let me know.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll find out tomorrow. I can email you, Robin.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right, so I will make sure we have an updated copy of 2173. So Robin, tonight I'll send you my comments on the draft of the comp plan format, because I've started typing them all in and then I got pulled into like 3 other things and I didn't finish it, but I will finish that tonight.
Yeah, I feel like that's more of like an executive summary. And I don't even know
Right.
if the data points are right in the summary.
Well, that, kind of what I looked at, it was like a summary of everything.
Yeah.
I
I
just
think we
felt like we
need
took-
another version where all of that detail that we have in the Word documents is behind
Yeah.
those summary pages. So I'm gonna leave out there what we have right now and start working on a second version that'll pull in some of that detail that we already have.
All the pretty pictures went away too.
Yeah, there was there pictures there before?
I asked Claude to leave room. Claude's my new boyfriend. I asked him to
With the
leave
program.
room
Yeah,
for
I thought they were
pictures.
coming. When I looked through it, I thought, okay, pictures will be coming.
Well, I didn't, the way it was spread out, I'm like, where are we gonna put the pictures? Like, I couldn't see where they were gonna put them in. I'm like, we lost. all
Yeah,
of-"
there was only like one page in each chapter that he left room for a picture.
Right.
But I think I agree there needs to be more. But I'll work on that part, when I start making the bigger version that's got all of that, includes all of that detail.
Very cool. And yeah, I had just a couple other questions, so I'll shoot that back to you tonight. But excellent job. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for taking that on. I'm so excited. Somebody brought me one.
No, I really actually enjoyed learning Claude. I took a class and it was very interesting. I'm gonna go see if he can make maps next.
Yep. Yep.
Where in the work thing is it that you have the list of who's doing what? I can't seem to find it in here. I'm looking.
I don't know that we do have that in there.
Oh,
Well, it was on
Excel.
the, it was
It's
in
in
the
an Excel document. When you go into the comp plan folder,
yeah,
if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, there's an Excel document and it's got two tabs. One tab is the who's doing what tab,
yeah.
and the second tab is the requirements from the state of Maine by chapter.
Okay.
yeah, that had the names on it.
Boy, it does work slowly.
I know, I just, my computer,
My phone works quicker.
Yeah,
that's true.
This is
Yeah,
really
exactly.
yeah, it does, doesn't it?
We just got, Spectrum sent me all new modem and stuff the other day, and I had it for about 10 days, and it kept sending me notes, activate your new system, activate. So I did it last night. So hopefully that will, I don't have any problems at home, but
I don't have any problems at home. I mean. Okay.
I feel like we're doing very well. Somebody on the Lake Association called me the other day, and he was working on theirs for a town in Massachusetts, and he sent me their last one. And it was really like, it was very dry, like our old one.
Yeah.
He's like, can you send me yours? I'm like, not the new one, because we don't want that getting out, but I'll send you the model, the one that we were using kind of as a model. But what else? I don't know that we need, well, what do you guys think about work sessions over the next month?
When do you want the public meeting?
Well, we can do them anytime. I'd like to try to do those charrettes, like later in the summer, like maybe
Okay.
July or August.
Mhm.
Um,
Can't download file.
I can print it out.
No, it's just because
Take a
I'm here, I think. I
Okay.
haven't had any problem before.
I don't know that I can do anything between now and the 4th, other than stuff I'm just doing at home at night, because we've got out of town guests showing
Oh,
up.
sure.
Yeah, I think I'm getting more done without that Wi-Fi there.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, I've just been really busy
Um,
with stuff.
because I'm having AI help me with a lot of this stuff and it needs to kerchunk, so
So let's just keep update on the next meeting.
yeah, I think we should keep talking about it and looking at it at every meeting so we're making ourselves make progress every meeting.
Okay. And I think you guys saw the note. I sent a note to Erica, who is supposed to be updating our transportation chapter. And then she's apparently got access to print out all kinds of maps.
Okay.
So first she said, I will get you the that chapter like shortly on transportation. And I had another meeting with a lady who happens to be her boss the other day, and she said, I saw your note to Erica. I'm like, good. So, because I was thinking, should I loop her in or not? Because it's been taking, she promised it in January and it's now May. Now it's taken us 5 years to get this thing, so I'm not really complaining, but I just, anyway, she said she should have sent, I'm going to talk about that in a second. That she should send that shortly. Also, when I asked her about maps, I said, do you know where we can get, she said these beginning with habitat maps that the guy was going to send us. She somehow had those. First she said, oh, I'm going to come to your meeting in January. I'll bring them. And then she didn't come and we snowed out or whatever. Or we didn't have it. And then she said, oh, I'll mail these to you. And I said, did you mail them? Because if they're in the town office somewhere, I'll go look for them, but I just need to know that you in fact mailed them and they're here. And she's like, no, I still have them. And then I said, well, and then she said she can print more if we need more. And I said, can you print us on transparencies, like on film?
Yeah.
So that we can overlay them. And how can you connect those to the lot maps that the
Right.
county assessor has? She said, I think I can do that, but I don't know. So I did send her a note that said, hey, when you think you're going to try it, let's pick a day and I'll come to your office and we can try it together and try printing those out. So let's see if we can get that done, because I think we would need those, and you need them printed big.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you're gonna have a public meeting and 6 or 8 people are gonna sit around a room and look at them, you can't have little 8.5 by 11s, they gotta be
Mhm.
big. And to,
Where they didn't have the old projector screen thing, you remember? years
that's
ago?
right, with transparencies. You
Yeah.
just- I was remembering in my childhood when they made the blue, the cup,
Yep,
the
like
thing that you
that.
printed that thing in, you
Yep.
ran the little cylinder and it made the chunked out the
I
little
did that
purple.
in high school. That's how we made copies.
Somebody brought that
Yeah.
up the other day and I was thinking, oh yeah, there's a unique smell to that. I
Yeah.
remember that. Anyway, so hopefully we'll get those maps. To that point, I did talk again to, the guy's name is Daniel Miller, who is an architect in the state of Maine. He's got a camp on the lake. He grew up in Canton. And he's got other properties around the state, but he was talking about, he remembers paddling across the lake and coming over to Tabor's and getting ice cream and
Mhm.
blah, 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 blah. He remembered the drugstore and the Ralph's Cash Market. I mean,
Yeah.
so he grew up here. So he's got that feel, and he still owns property here and he's here all the time. So he kind of has a feel for the town.
Mhm.
He's agreed to help facilitate that meeting at no cost,
Oh,
which is like, yay. He also said he can help us plan and organize it so that we can basically do it ourselves, or that we can figure out how to, organize it and delegate it. Maybe a select person leads one of the sessions and somebody else leads a session. So you're kind of building engagement and credibility across all the different departments. But we don't know yet what we need. So I don't know we can't really ask him for anything quite yet, but he knows it's coming and he said he'd be willing to help.
where does he live?
He's got multiple properties around the state. I don't know which one is his primary residence.
Oh, so he may not have to travel too far.
No, he's got a camp right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, his office, I think, is in Bangor,
Mm.
outside of near Bangor, but he's got also an office in Southern Maine. So I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know exactly.
the name's not familiar. I was trying to read Daniel Miller.
Yeah, he seemed very on top of it. He knows things like building regulations. He knows where other people are doing interesting things around the state, like for housing and business development and repurposing old buildings. I mean, he's just seemed to be really knowledgeable about a lot of the stuff that we want to do.
Mhm.
And also not, he knew ways to get things done that were not necessarily, he would never, oh, you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do this. It was like, if you want to do that, here's 3 ways you could get that done. I'm like, yeah, that's the kind of guy we'd like to work
How'd
with.
you meet him?
He knows Cindy Wheatas.
Okay, Cindy, I know, yeah. Cindy.
Yep. And
Good connection.
somebody else knows him. Well, and I brought up in a conversation with him, I brought up the other lady from that consulting company that said, hey, we'll help you because that's what we do is run these charrettes, the ones who are running the one for Rumford. She did send me a draft plan for Gardner, which I will forward to you guys. In there, she didn't have a total cost to do this same kind of community facilitation for Gardner, but she charged, the hourly rates were in there.
Okay, but he's willing to do it for free.
Yes, yes. Now, the last time we rented the upstairs at the Historical Society, the town did pay them to rent that room, whatever the going rate is.
Okay.
But now that, I don't know, Robin is the president of the Historical Society and or the chairman of there, and she's also on the select board. Like they held a retirement party for somebody there. I don't know if they paid for that room or not. I don't know. If it's for town purposes, maybe they got it at a discount. I don't know. But we can ask. But there's always refreshments. There's always stuff to print big. Like I've printed big things at Kinko's before for meetings like this, and they charge you a lot for those big sheets of
Mhm.
print, So there may be costs associated with the meeting. I brought that up to the select board at the last meeting, and they're like, basically, when you have a process plan and you know what the costs are going to be, let us know. We don't know if we need to use the community development fund or not for that, but they seem to be open to that.
That
So.
community development kind of fits right into what we're
Oh.
doing.
Very much so.
Yes, yep. So I don't think there's going to be a roadblock there. I think we just don't know enough to know exactly what we're asking for yet. So that was cool. What else? So I did not email it to you, Robin, but I will. I just gave you guys a copy of this thing called the Canton Development Corporation. The select board got this also today, and there's going to be a presentation at next week's select board meeting by the Canton Development Corp. And this is a group that got formed. They've been talking about it for about 6 months. They got formed a month or so ago. It's a nonprofit in the town of Canton that their goal or mission is specifically to help implement things like the strategic plan for the town. And because they're a not-for-profit, they can do things that the town can't do necessarily, right? There's certain grants the town's not eligible for that a nonprofit is eligible for. It's a nonprofit, they can own, they can hold property. They can do all kinds of different things. One of the projects the town's been trying to do for about 5 years now is tear down the old elementary school, right? Because it got kind of discombobulated during the buyout process.
I was in the town office, maybe, probably a couple months ago. And somehow I got discussing with Aaron about tearing the old school down.
Mhm.
He said they have tried several different ways. They absolutely cannot do it because of all the toxic.
Yeah,
Not
it
true.
would be.
Not true. So the Canton Development Corp can do that process in conjunction with the town. They've already gotten partway down the process of doing that. The town did, and it stopped because the town took possession of that property before they did a brownfield study, which is understanding what the contamination is. You have to, then it becomes a question of liability. Who's responsible for that contamination, right? Because they took control of it before they knew exactly what the problem was. So they tried to say, well, can we get the water district? Now, so the town did a brownfield study several years ago, which now they know exactly now what the contamination is. That's done. So they know that. Might have to be redone because it was several years ago. May have to redo it.
Yeah, but the contaminants don't change.
Well, they could spread, they could,
Spread.
whatever.
Yeah, I think it was.
And if the building is deteriorating because of like holes in the roof, that's actually good. So, but because of that situation, that could also warrant why you want to do it again. But there's grants available for that. But Canton Development Corp, if the town redoes the brownfield, but you can get, or the Canton Development Corp can redo that brownfield study on behalf of the town and get a grant to do that. With that information, they can then create a mitigation plan. Also on behalf of the town, but the nonprofit can do it. At that point, if there's an agreed to plan, the select board could then transfer the ownership of that property to Canton Development Corp, and then they can apply it for the actual work to get it done. They can do it. So there is a way to do it.
So it wouldn't be expensive.
Well, it's going to
Would
cost
be-
money, but you can get grants to do it.
You would do it by grants.
Right, so I think the Canton Development Corp is hoping that that project will kind of kickstart potential future work with the town. So that's going to be, the select board has that document that you have in front of you, and they're going to be talking about it next week, Thursday. Just so you know, that's going on. But I think the Development Corp could be a huge asset in exactly what we're doing with the comp plan, right? So once you develop the comp plan and then say, okay, now we have to do all these things that we think we want to do, right? How do you get it done? They can help out with that. So that's just information FYI. Robin, do you have any questions at this point? Nope, I'll forward you that same document. I'm sorry, I didn't email that beforehand. Are there other topics for discussion tonight? I will update. I'm almost done. I should, in an hour, I should be able to finish the housing section as far as I'm going to get on that. So I will finish that and get that done tonight as well. And then I'll take a stab at what we've got for some of the other sections.
We already kind of went over the permit log format and was about asking the
Yep,
town office for.
yep.
Does that go along with the permit process and documentation?
Yes.
Yeah. That's all kind
Oops.
of been together.
Well, that one that says permit process and documentation, That was more about when somebody applies for a permit, I'll find the document that Brad Sika did.
Yeah.
It was really a question of which, applications, needed. Do we have an application format for everything that needs one? Or do we have, and do we have actual permit formats? Because some permits, yeah, you give someone a permit that says, okay, your permit number 22, right? But sometimes there's stipulations, right? And I don't know where you find those.
Okay.
And Brad did a good job of laying out a great outline and starting with what we had.
Hmm.
Let me find that document from Brad. And I think I kept that on there because he gave us a great framework before he left the planning board. And then there was more work that had to be done on his framework,
Okay,
but I don't remember what it was.
right, okay.
And also we had, when I come up for air on all my other stuff, we had, we talked through cluster housing and it sits with me. So I need to take all those things we discussed and put that into the updated ordinance and get that back to everybody for review.
Okay,
That's on my plate.
see, I thought that was one that we'd already sent to the select board. Okay,
No, they had the 4 that were in that document we sent them about a month ago. So we have solar,
cemetery,
sewer, cemetery,
Solar,
sewer,
sewer,
cemetery.
cemetery. Mhm.
It wasn't planning board, was it planning?
Planning board.
Planning board.
yeah. Yeah, those were the 4,
Mhm.
Right, so cluster housing didn't even get in that mix.
right. We
But you did
discuss-
cluster housing, haven't you?
We've talked about it, and all the changes are like written in notes.
Yeah.
And then it sits with me to make a clean copy of that and get it back to you guys for one final review. So that's,
That'll be the 5th one for them to.
well, and I think, well, we'll probably have to put something about the accessory housing into our housing and minimum lot size ordinance.
Yeah.
So that'll be another one. Comp plan will be another one. So now we're up to like 7. So,
There, so I think that's it, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
So, motion to adjourn. 6:55.
I'll second.
All in favor?
So let me stop the, oh,
Bye, Robin.
okay.
See you.
See you later.
Bye, have a good evening. Hope you had fun last night at your event.
Yes, I did. Thank you.
Oh, good.
Right back.
All right. We'll see you later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ciao.